In this video, we are going to introduce the concept of the future of work. The future of work is a projection of how work that the humans of the world are doing is changing now and into the future, with three main categories of forces impacting those changes. Those categories are technology and changing workforce demographics, and globalization and other place-based factors. Your first reading this week is going to be this infographic. The Future of Work infographic was created in about 2014, but it is still timely and useful for our purposes today, even though the future of work that we'll be looking at in this course is not the one that was conceived of in 2014, because today we are being impacted by things that we couldn't foresee then that are related to the global pandemic. So we are looking at the changes of technology affecting work as well as shifting demographics. And we're also looking at what happened with globalization, because we still have some impacts of globalization, but we also have supply chain issues and the way work changed because of pandemic-related things. In looking at the way work is changing, it's useful for us to look at the way work has changed over the years. So if we go back a ways to pre-industrial times, work was a whole process of goods creation. So somebody would go to get a pair of shoes. Well, that was something that went from beginning to end, where the cobbler, the individual making the shoes, would measure the foot and craft the whole product all the way to delivering and then tweaking the product after it was initially delivered. It really focused very much on craftsmanship. And then we came to the period of Industrial Revolution, where we started to do a lot of work in factories. We made jobs be specific to one portion of that task. We might still be making shoes, but no longer did we generally have cobblers who were making all of the portions of the product. And then we can come even further forward, this is a very fast history, into work that's being done in our contemporary environment. We do have a lot of that work already being shunted away from humans and being done by artificial intelligence and different robotics. Technology has had a strong impact on what we are doing for work right now. And the continued changes of work will be that the work that humans do, the more technology usage we have in our current environment and into the future, the more the human-specific tasks or human-specific jobs will be the order of the day for work. So the work is going to involve some higher order and critical thinking type work, as well as creative work, creating art and movies and many different completely unique offerings. All of the feeling work that needs to be done, that is done in care environments, that will all need to be done by humans, and all workplaces have a component of this for sure. And then work that is requiring supreme dexterity. So the building areas and trades are areas that cannot be influenced very heavily by automation that can happen with technology applied to work that we need to have done as a society. In 2017, the Pew Research Center did some polling of experts in the field of the future of work and jobs. And they pulled together individuals such as Devin Fidler, who at the time was a research director at the Institute for the Future. He's quoted as saying, "As basic automation and machine learning move toward becoming commodities, uniquely human skills will become more valuable." And Tiffany Schlein, who's the filmmaker and founder of the Webby Awards, was quoted as saying, "The skills needed to succeed in today's world and the future are curiosity, creativity, taking initiative, multidisciplinary thinking, and empathy." With respect to the changing workforce demographics and the who that will be doing work into the future, the consulting company Deloitte has reported that it is their projection, or it is projected, that 75% of the global workforce by the year 2025 will be millennials or younger, meaning individuals born in 1980 or after. That has an impact on the future of work significantly. And something that is new in looking at the future of work is brought to bear by the pandemic and the effects that came from the world's first she session. So previous to the latest recession that we're experiencing, all of the recessions in the past had more largely affected male workers. And to contrast what has happened within the she session, within the first year or so, about 1 million more women lost jobs than men did. And in the most recent recession, previous to this, in 2008, it was about close to 1 million men total who lost jobs and less than 100,000 women who lost jobs during that time. So we're facing something completely unprecedented in the number of women who are finding themselves without work currently. And that is seen just when we look at the areas that have been hardest hit by this recession, and those are the retail and service sectors, which are dominated by women, and especially women of color. And finally, rounding out the future of work concept, we're looking at the changing place that work is being done. And we are looking at a number of different components there, and this list is not exhaustive, but we are looking at how the options around remote work will impact work into the future. We'll be looking at changes in retail from brick and mortar to far more online options. We will look at how the gig economy has been influenced by things like the changing place of consumption, with having far more delivery now rather than all of us heading out to restaurants. Many more individuals are ordering off of Grubhub and Uber Eats and those types of services. And then we'll be looking at how supply chain issues affect the future of work. In one example, we have seen a local business, a clothing manufacturer, Ewer, who is now bringing a clothing manufacturing facility to Missoula because of the impacts they sustained from supply chain issues upstream from themselves. So rather than continue to deal with those issues, some something that we are seeing specific to them is them moving their manufacturing here into Western Montana.